Live. Look at the state of my hair. Good grief. How are you all? Now, let's just have a look at this. I'm just trying to make sure it's actually up on the YouTube channel. It should be coming up live soon. Hang on. Give it one of those. And hi, Sarah. How's Essex? Love Essex. Had a lot of fun in Essex when I was younger. Crumbs my hair. I should have combed it before I started, shouldn't I? That's bad. Hi, Adam. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Leah. Wow, just beautiful names people have. Right, so let me just click on that because we're live now. Hi, Josh. Danielle from Widnes. Now, Widnes, that's where we did our live, wasn't it? Our live podcast. Loved it. From Sterling too. Hi, Anne. How are we all? How's your week been? I have to say it's been a funny old week. I've been kind of really busy doing bits and bobs. Fine, thanks, Michelle. How are you? I'm going to be looking over sort of that way because I can see. I know the bits are coming up on there, but I can see them easier on there. No love from the cabin in the forest. No, I'm going to be spending a couple of. I know I said this last time, but I had to pick my days. Because we've had a lot of dealings and stuff with and phone calls with America for some projects, which will be very exciting, and hopefully we'll have some good news for you at some point. So I couldn't really get down there this week, so I am going to get down there next week, or maybe this weekend. Just spend the weekend down in my little in the little cabin. Anyway, I hope you're all right. Hey, hi, Nicole. How are you from Texas? Now, you were here yesterday, weren't you, with Mary, as I recall? Or am I wrong? I don't think I am. Yeah, we're all well, thanks, Karen. And I hope you are too. Bushcraft skills are non-existent. Do you know what? The funny thing is hi Scotland. I hope you guys are okay up there as well. I do love Scotland. It's quite often it's a second home for me. But I do have this. You know, we're very fortunate. We're surrounded by countryside. So and when we first bought the house and stuff, I was always going out there, and I was more out than in. Yes, I was more out than in. As your mind is probably dirty as mine. And I absolutely loved it. And then, you know, obviously the hustle and bustle of every day kind of takes its toll, and you forget a little bit about the outside. And of course, what this sort of lockdown thing's done is it's centered everything around what I've got, and I've watched the little moorhens being born. Well, it's been born, hatched. But you know, one day you've got moorhens nesting, and the next thing you've got lots of little baby moorhens running around, and watching them grow, and watching all the birds on the bird table. Hence, you know, obviously the little sort of birdhouse, dovecot, whatever it's called, that I made. It's just to try and give something back. And I thought, we've got all these badgers, and I need to film them. I need to be down there. So I'm going to spend a few days just looking at what they're doing. Hopefully, I'm going to get some actual footage of our badgers, because I've only ever seen one once. Well, a couple once, and that was some years ago when they had some babies, and that was lovely. I'm starting to look like Noel Edmonds. Please, dear God, no. No. Mr. Blobby, maybe, because I'm eating like a horse. Why do they say eat like a horse? Because I don't eat hay. To be fair, I've never tried, and I've never tried horse food, even a horse lick. And that's a thing you give horses. That's not some euphemism. Right. Anyway. Yeah. Thanks, Noel Edmonds. Yeah. Kenny Rogers. Bless him, Kenny Rogers. He died recently, didn't he? Coward of the County and all of that. He was huge in the 80s. Anyway. Yes, Mr. Blobby is sitting here. It's quite. Every time I get up, I think I'm lifting weights. It's not, it's my stomach. So yeah, as long as you guys are good, and I think we're all getting a little used to this, and I know that the lockdown thing has eased a little bit. Cheers, Marcus. Marcus has just said the beard suits me. I don't know whether I'm going to keep it, but then again, the great thing about these things is they grow if I shave it off. And the great thing is I don't quite know how to shave. No, I don't know how to shave. I've been shaving all my life. Well, since I was growing a beard, but I don't. It's kind of like, yeah, you start. Shall I shave these bits off, and shall I give myself a bit of a funny thing here, just as a laugh, not to keep? It's not my thing. Yeah. So beard oil. Yeah. Do you know what? Right, and comb the beard. Yeah, I have tried to comb the beard. Beard oil, I haven't even thought of yet. But Jamie, just for you, I won't shave. Not for a while, anyway. Anyway, being down there, Michelle, that's exactly what I thought. Just shaving here, well, kind of here. Let this grow a bit bushy. 1970s porn tash. Get rid of shaved. Hello, Alabama. Alabama, God, I haven't been to Alabama for, wow. Last time I was in Alabama, when was that? That must have been, God, coming up for 30 years ago. Wow, how was Alabama? Yeah, raw beard or get it on. After lockdown, will these chats continue, Lee? Yes, I think we should. Why not? I think that I'm loving talking to you guys and getting straightforward reactions from you from here and talking to you, because I just saw a load of love hearts coming up. Oh, Colorado, crumbs, Denver. Again, do you know what? We filmed in Denver years ago, and I can't. What was it? That was it. It was a documentary on American life. Oh yeah, it was great. I love Denver. I went there for that long. Matt Smith, Carmo Saunter is amazing. I really want to do some investigations on my own. Any tips and advice? Do you know what, Matt? Yeah, the one thing I would do is I would Hong Kong as well. Hello, Hong Kong. I would always say with investigations is that first thing to remember is no one is a paranormal expert, and I've said this many times. The term paranormal expert is used by quite a lot of people, and I dislike it tremendously because no one is a paranormal expert. There's a bit too late to try and put it into a paranormal investigation unless you're scaring people. So what I would do is just go in there with a completely open mind, and I really would say, because I believe a lot of it's energy, and I think positive energy is really the way forward. If you can, and this isn't to say that everything that happens you have to think a spirit of a dead person's done it, but be open to the possibility of that, because positive attitude and positive state of mind, I think you get a lot more. We have, since we've, the team we've got, a lot of people wonder why, Stuart and I get a lot of stuff, Yvette and I get a lot of stuff. It's because we have 100%. I have no doubt that something's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen, and that's that positive attitude. And that's what I would do. And your biggest tip is use your ears, your eyes, your sense of smell, and even sometimes your sense of taste, because you know your own baseline, so you know what you normally smell and what you normally hear. So when you hear something that's slightly different, take that into account, because it's something that you will enjoy and love it. I mean, we absolutely love it. I've loved it from day one, and I find it fascinating and always will. Again, if you want to use machinery, that's completely up to you. Until there's a machine that was specifically made for ghost hunting, I'm not a huge fan. I love EVP machines, and you don't need a load of tech. You see these big things with loads of different filters and all that. You don't really need that. You can download a good recording app or a program for free on your laptops, and use that. Use your phones. Just leave them recording, and you can catch stuff. When you move on, you can get to other things which have different sound fluctuations and different levels. But other than that, just enjoy it. Just go and walk around and have some fun with it. Lovely Dawn. How are you, darling? I haven't seen you in ages, and it does seem like a million years. Hi, Carl. Hope you're very well. Could I ask a huge favour? You don't need to ask me a favour. You're my mate. Anything? Would you never mind recording a short happy 21st birthday? Is Amy? Wow, is she 21? Wow, God, where's the time gone? Of course we will, Dawn. I'll email it to you, but email me and just remind me, because we'll try and get it done tomorrow or over the weekend and send it to you. We'll do that. But thanks for saying hello, Jamie. Of course I'll say hello. Huge hugs, huge hugs, huge hugs. Isn't it weird? I was saying to Yvette about about this lockdown, that with the exception of sort of phone calls and emails and all that, I've been. It's quite for me. It's been, dare I say, a bit relaxing, because I can't do anything. It's one of the first times in my life I've not really had to do anything. And I've got no footage to edit at the moment because that's elsewhere and we can't get hold of it. We will be able to now that they've relaxed a little bit of stuff. And because everything's away, all the deals we were talking about before this have all they're on the back shelf, back burner. They're on the shelf, on the back burner. I don't know. Anyway, they're on hold at the moment. So it's kind of, I've loved making stuff. I'm making a duck house at the moment. Yeah. More about that later. Right. Louise, can you wish my son Tyler a happy 11th birthday for Tuesday? Tyler, happy birthday for Tuesday, my friend. I hope you have a fantastic day. Well, I'm sure you will. Even though it's locked down, you'll have a great day. And loads of love from all of us. Yvette's upstairs. She's, I don't know, 10 foot from me at the moment, because she's right above this. And she'll be sending you love too. And so will Mary. Dave's asked if I would ever thought of returning to Pendle Hill. Do you know what, Dave? Yes, I would quite happily go back to Pendle Hill. The problem is, I think we've sort of said this before, so I'll be kind of quick, that the main house that we had most of our activity in, is now basically a holiday cottage, I think, or it's certainly rented out. They've decked it out. They've completely gutted it. It's all sort of lovely, square, beautiful walls, and somebody lives there, and they're not too happy about people turning up, to be fair, because I think when we did it, it's a tiny little road, and I understand it. There's these houses that didn't get traffic, then all of a sudden the world descended on them. Film check 63. Now, were you born in 63, or is 63 just a number? I need to know these things. From Suffolk, been watching series 1. You're the best. Oh, bless you. Did you like scary stories as a kid? Do you know what? I think, like all kids, I kind of like ghost stories to a point, but stuff that didn't really scare. I mean, I think now it's changed so much, because you can't. All ghost stories are easily accessed by anyone in kids. I mean, Mary watches ghost stories, and I know she's 20 now, coming up for 21, but she's kind of. Even from a young age, she would say, "Oh, I went around a friend's house and we watched Netflix or whatever, and we watched a ghost story." I'm thinking, a ghost movie, and I don't think I could have watched that as a kid. But I loved them. I did love them. I loved all the. I love Peter Cushing. Have done since I was the tiniest little one. And I've loved. I love all the Frankensteins and the Draculas, the Mummy films, the Wolfman films. Love them all, with Lon Chaney and all of that lot. And I think that they were a bit more innocent then, but I absolutely love them. Dave, why did we drop mediums from Most Haunted? Well, to be honest, I don't know whether we really had any. We had people who said they were, and I don't mean that in a negative way. we found that the problem you had is you put a lot of faith, and we believe, if why wouldn't you believe? It's not down to us to judge someone if they're psychic or not. But what happened was you could potentially, with some, they were so sort of egotistical and desperate for airtime that they would speak when there was nothing to speak about. And you could be doing a seance or whatever, and they just to say something. And the one thing just to qualify everything, whenever we had any medium on, as a producer of the show, I always used to say that the truth is paramount. And so if you're not picking anything up, just say, I'm not picking anything up. It doesn't mean the place isn't haunted. It just means on that particular night or that particular day, you're not picking anything up. It doesn't mean the rest of us aren't going to see or feel or experience something. But I think sometimes they wanted to keep saying stuff. And they would sit there and say, oh, I'm picking up an Elizabeth. So we would spend the night looking for an Elizabeth when potentially there wasn't an Elizabeth there. And I think since we've haven't got rid of them, I have to say that the one that always got, as we always say this, Yvette does as well, was Brian Shepherd, absolutely lovely guy. And he's the only one who ever gave that was very personal, and we don't know how. That was great. So other than that's why we don't use them anymore. We're getting a lot more stuff without them. We're not using somebody's either real or fake ability, whatever it is. I'm not saying they were all fake. I'm just saying that some of them certainly were. And we always, with respect, if we were getting rid of a psychic or a medium, we always let them, with the exception of one, we always let them finish their contract, the series, so it didn't look bad on them. Of course, they never say thank you for that. They just slag you off. But that's just sadness, and that's not very spiritual on their behalf. Eleanor, thanks for the laughs. You're very welcome, Eleanor. I do like a laugh, as you know. Now, I'm trying to get through these. Right, Matt, this is the one to think about. Do you think they are ghosts, or do you think they are past crossing over to present? Do you know, Matt, I'm a great believer in the stone tape theory, that I think things can replay moments in time and constantly replay moments in time, and sometimes that's seen as a haunting. I think one of the most famous ones is the soldiers, the Roman soldiers in York or Chester, I think it was Chester. Yeah, Chester. I think the guy who saw those, they were, in my opinion, I think that's stone tape theory. And I think that plays itself out whether you're there or not. But, who knows what ghosts are. Right, let's just carry on. What's that? Oh, no, let's do that one. Could you give my son? Oh, Lorraine. Ben Collins, a shout, please. Ben. How you doing, pal? That's from me, Yvette, Mary, Watson, and William. He's not here, but he's doing his thing. He's in lockdown in Nantwich. Do you still have a scar from 30 East Drive on my arm? Yes. That's my psoriasis. There you can kind of see, if you can see that there. That's the scar from 30 East Drive. If you can see that still, that's still there. Can you say to Rachel, we met 21 years ago. That's from Robert. Rachel, hello from Robert. Oh, is his wife? Oh, his wife, Rachel, I met 21 years ago today. Today, 21 years ago today. Wow. How's it going? Because I met Yvette 22 years ago, really, but 21 years ago, we were seeing each other, which was cool. Well, actually, no, I'm lying. I actually met Yvette when she was on What's Up, Doc. I was a lonely camera assistant at the time, so I wasn't allowed to talk to people, but I was there in the background. She was there doing bang. Louisa, Carl, could you please wish my son Callan happy birthday, 7th birthday for Monday. Happy birthday, Callan, for Monday. It's and happy birthday. Have fun, just enjoy it while he's 7, crying out loud. I hope you've got. It must be difficult. I suppose with getting things delivered, you can get prezzies and stuff, but it must be difficult. I really do feel for you. What was your experience after being knocked out at Alton Towers? Now, Andy, do you know the weird thing? A lot of people ask me about Alton Towers because I can't remember, and I still can't remember now. I remember walking into that room, and I remember walking into that area, but I can't remember anything else. I think it was Stuart that found me, so that's all I can remember. Hello from Gemma and Mario. We got engaged at Peterhead Prison on the Most Haunted Experience, if you remember. I do remember very well. How are you guys? I hope you're well, Gemma. And Mario, of course. Marrow, sorry, not Mario. Fuck. Oh, I swore. Actually, it's not for kids. I put it on the thing. So, yeah, fuck. Sorry about that. Marrow, I hope you guys are well. How are you doing? When are you getting married? Peterhead, that was a while ago. You should be married with kids by now. Thousands of the kids. No, okay, maybe not. Right, did you know your house was haunted before you bought it? Well, do you know what? I have a belief that I think every place where man has lived and died, I think, is a haunted place. I know I think I can't remember where that comes from, but that is a part of scripture. And I think that where it's written into, I can't remember what book it is. And I believe that so much. And so when we bought this house, knowing that the main house dates back from the 1600s, but the foundations of the dining room behind me, behind that door there, dates back to the medieval period. So, and also because this was a royalist stronghold when the Civil War happened and the royalist household, when obviously the parliamentarians won, took them out and executed them against the back wall, and we still have the shot of there. So we know there is. We knew there would be something here, but the people here before said they never experienced anything nasty, and neither have we. It's always been a very pleasant, lovely place to live. Now, Dave, can you please tell my amazing husband, Nassim, has changed my life for the best. We love Most Haunted. Do you know what, Dave? That is a beautiful thing to say to your husband. And I really, really, really love it when love is just poured out on there. And it's lovely. You should tell people you love them and how much they've changed your life, because sometimes the world is a bit of a difficult place. And love always wins, no matter how much of a bad day you've had, when you can come home to your partner or your husband or your wife or whoever and just be able to say, I love you, or them to say, I love you, and a hug. It's just the nicest, it's the nicest thing. It really, truly is. And I love it. Are you and Yvette doing a Saturday night chat on the app this weekend, or investigate? We are looking at doing an investigation in the home. And I think Yvette may be doing a chat tomorrow night on the app. She's done quite a few, and I think she will. Patrick, can you give a shout out to my lovely wife Claire, please? Now, Patrick and Claire, they're really good friends of mine, and they got engaged. He proposed on a Most Haunted Experience as well, and they're two of the loveliest people you could ever wish to meet. They really, truly are. They've gone through a lot together, and they're together, and they're two people who should have always been together. How is Stu? Stu's fine. Stu, he never changes. He's I've tried to change him. No, I haven't. And this time I actually have a cup of tea. No, this is not, I'm lying. It's a cup of hot chocolate. Because normally when I do this, I forget to get myself a drink. Bot Bub. Have I got that right? Bot Bub. Please upload your American episodes on this channel. Oh, well, we can't upload. I'm pleased to say hello to your husband Ben and son Alf. We're shielding for another 5 weeks. Oh well, another 5 weeks. That makes you know each other, doesn't it? We can't. We would love to put the American series up, but we don't own them. We own everything from the ones we started to do on High Southampton. We were all the ones we started to do when we were from on Really TV. They're the ones we own. All the others are owned by Sky, and unfortunately we don't have any control, which is a shame because it's Sky, so they're a law unto themselves. And they do what they really want, which is a bit of a shame because I don't know. Or maybe the American shows are owned by the Travel Channel. The problem was when we did the American series, it was a deal that Living TV did with the Travel Channel in America. And I don't know who owned them because I think they did some sort of contra deal where I think the Travel Channel paid for the American series and then they did a swap. So the Travel Channel got a British series for free and then the Living got the American series for free. I wasn't a party to that deal, but I think that's where that is. So maybe the Travel Channel got it. I don't know, sadly. I think they should give us all the back catalogue back because I think they've made enough money out of it, and I'd like everyone to just be having them all for free, really, because they should be. There's something about Most Haunted Experience that made people want to propose. Yes, James, there is. Now, James Rendell proposed to the lovely Laura, also on a Most Haunted Experience. I do think we should do a singles one, shouldn't we? A singles Most Haunted Experience where people can actually meet. What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Would you go to Shepton Mallet Prison? We've been a few times to Shepton, and it's a great place. It really is. I think there's too much made out of the craze going there because they weren't there for very long. They were very young when they were there. But it's a great place. So much hauntings there. Had a great time there. So yeah, I mean, we'd probably even go and visit, do a show there when we can, because it's it's a great place. I stopped going off saying it's a great place. So here it is. I was trying to find now Becky's asked me to say hello to her fiance Ryan. 5 years together today. Wow, 5 years. 5 years. I love it when people. I love it when people watch Most Haunted and they're together. Amy, as you said, Carl, the nursery I work at has lots of activity, and the children often wave at things we can't see. That's a good thing. But usually this happens in the winter, never the summer. Is that possible, or are we going mad? No, that's the thing. Anything's possible. We've had places that will haunt for only a month. They will report activity for just 1 month a year, or sometimes 2 months of a year, and never other side of it. So there's a lot, and I do think when kids see things, because their minds haven't been messed around with, they've not been told things don't exist, so they're open to the possibility of everything, and I think they see so much more. So yeah, I think very potentially it's there. I've watched your show since I was 11 in the early days, Crumbs, and now I'm 27. Crumbs, that makes me feel old. And we still love all of you. Thanks, Book Addict. Sorry, she's gone up so fast. Would you visit Mint House, Pevensey, or Scottish Borders? Yeah, Elaine Castle, Donan Castle, Stirling Castle, Edinburgh Castle. Edinburgh Castle won't let us in there because they don't really want to be known as just a paranormal thing. And I know if Most Haunted went there, they'd get a load of people want to do events there and stuff. But the rest, yeah, of course, we love Scotland. We've done a lot in Scotland, and as I say, I've got a huge love for the Scottish because it's part of my my ancestry comes from Scotland. We were part of the Border Raiders, so we skipped across the border, Scotland to England, and I don't know, beat people up, I think, which is a bit of a dub. Please, Kushti Gal, thank you, Michelle. Wish my lovely sister Carolyn Rowe soon to be Starling, a happy birthday for tomorrow. Happy birthday. How old are you, Carolyn? No, I should say, a gentleman never asks. Let's just say 21. And obviously you're going to get married soon with, oh, thank you, Penny. How are you? Right. Australia, Leone. What a beautiful name, Leone. Hi, Australia. How is Australia? I haven't been there. Well, last time I went there was when Yvette was in the jungle. I loved it. It was great. Huge empty beaches. Just huge empty beaches. I love it. I mean, everything out there wants to kill you and eat you. We were there, so a lot of the production team wanted to as well, but generally animals. Right. God, this is nice. It's a cup of hot chocolate. I'm trying to do my best not to have too much. All right, can I say this has become a happy birthday thing? Andrea, can you say happy birthday to son who's 9 on Sunday? Cameron, happy birthday, pal. Happy birthday, Cameron, for Sunday. And your mum will buy you whatever you want. Just make sure you cut this off before I say that bit. Who made the hot chocolate, Mary? No, I did. It's one of these. You stick it in, with a couple of spoonfuls of something or other, and it comes out tasting rubbish. But it's no sugar or something. I don't know, because I'm just going to end up like a huge thingy. Would I do I'm a Celeb? Yeah, I would. I think I was asked to do the Big Brother house a few times when it wasn't right at the time. But am I a celeb? Yeah, I would. I mean, it'd be difficult for me. I'm a vegetarian, and I'm not going to eat a live animal for anyone. I don't care who's watching or not watching, because I think it's cruel. I think when you're watching a live bug, and it's fine if another animal's eating it for their own survival, or if there's tribes and stuff that eat these things for survival, that's fine. But for an entertainment show, I think it's a bit crass and a little bit cruel, and I don't think you'd be able to do it in this country. But yeah, I'd certainly give it a go. My problem is I as people who know me well know I don't really suffer fools too much, and so there might be a punch up. Not from me, because I'm a passive man who loves. I'm a hippie, but I have to tell people the way it is, really. Hey Carl, why do you think there's no clear footage of an actual ghost, or is there? The thing is, Laura, there is. It's how you interpret it. There's lots of footage of ghosts out there. I mean, we made front page with catching something walking up the stairs again. I think that is stone tape theory. I still think it was Stuart walking up the stairs. It just replayed itself because he'd walked up those stairs probably 30 times with lights and however. But I think the first thing is what is a ghost? A ghost is many things. It's there are so many different things that come under that term, and only one of those explanations is the spirit of a dead person. There's hypnagogic and hypnopompic sleep states. There's hallucinations. There's you can be too hot, too cold. There's electromagnetic forces that can create you to see things. There are and things to happen. There are low-level sound fluctuations which can change the way you view things and give you corner of the eye phenomena. These are all things we call ghosts because we can't explain all of them. And so I think that I think that there are footage of ghosts. I think there's some great ones. And the problem is some people are too scared to put stuff up that they've caught because there's too many idiots out there who just want to be nasty and say, just be rude and I think that's a shame because we should be able to always put what we've got, show everyone. We're all in this for the same reason. And the trouble is, it's all those idiots that are the nasty people. They don't have they're not really interested in the paranormal. They're just interested in causing problems. And so, and it's hard for some people just to forget them. And it's like when you're on the internet, on your Facebook or whatever, you put these things down. You should never, ever, ever answer them. If you feed them, they will keep going. They're only there to get a reaction, because generally they're of lower intelligence. And this isn't me saying it. This is a study that was made, that they're of lower intelligence, and that they have a need to be accepted, and their way of acceptance is for people to have a go at them, which is bizarre, as you and I would understand that to be, but they do. Karen, hi Carl, missing you all. Well, we're missing you too. We really are. Love your updates and chats. It's anniversary for me today, 13 years of employment with my local council. Love from Karen and David. Well done, 13 years. Unlucky for some. I hope you're enjoying your job, because working for the council can be very, very hard. Now, one thing sort of came up saying, do I believe in UFOs? Yeah, I mean, UFO by its very nature is just an unidentified flying object. But visitors from other planets, why not? I think you have to be open to everything. I think there's so much out there that we don't know, and I think it would be quite arrogant for us to think we're the only life on any planet anywhere ever out there. We call it a universe, and the fact that we call it a universe means there must be a multiverse. Or we just call it the verse. So yeah, I think there must be something out there. Whether they visit us or not, I don't know. It's like seeing a ghost. You'd like to see proof. I've seen stuff in the skies that I don't understand. Yvette and I saw a UFO a while ago coming back from an event, and it was two bright lights in the sky. They just stayed there. They hovered. They were very bright, and then they were gone. They accelerated faster than anything could actually accelerate that we know of. So yeah, there's got to be something. I mean, I'd love to see one. I'd love to do an investigation on UFOs. I know there's been loads done on Discovery and whoever else do them all. And the Americans do them so well because they spend a load of money on cameras and stuff, and they throw hundreds of thousands of dollars on each episode of shows, which we don't in the UK. That's why you see more American shows than you do UK shows, because the American broadcasters are selling out, really, sadly. Right, shout out to all the key workers who are doing. We're all doing an amazing job. All key workers. It's funny because I've seen some negative stuff about why are we doing this for key workers? We're doing it for everyone who's they're giving their everything so we can be safe. And I think that certainly in this time we definitely do need to say thank you to these people. But we need to extend that thank you. We need to extend that thank you to all of the people who also are opening shops, like your B&Qs and stuff, and because they're open around, so people can get stuff they can do at home. You've got you've got all the people in supermarkets, and our local supermarket. I was talking to one of the ladies there quite a while ago, a month or so ago, before it all got mad, and she was saying that she was getting some negative stuff from people, which I'll never understand. I just will never understand. We're all there to help. We're all in the same thing, and there's enough for everyone. The funniest thing I saw was just in America, where you had all these people trying to actually get their money back from all of the toilet paper they bought. These huge trolleys of people stacked full of toilet paper trying to get their money back, and the shop wouldn't give it to them. And good on them for not giving it to them. Kelly, absolutely love the Home with Yvette and Carl series. Is this something you'll be willing to do again? I met you and Yvette, the team, at one of the podcasts. Such great, oh bless you, such great people. You're a great person. Thank you so very much. Do you know what? Yes, we would. We have been recording some bits and bobs, and I need to put it together for it. It'll be slightly different because it's made over a longer period. We love doing them, but they were a lot of fun. Again, we wanted it always to be real. There's nothing made up. There's nothing. There's nothing set up. And when we finished the first series, which was a lot of fun, and you guys loved it, the channel Living wanted us to if something happened, they wanted to recreate it, and I wouldn't do it. Because I think if, we should be here filming, and if we're going to do something as film it. If nothing happens, nothing happens. But I wouldn't recreate it. I know they do that a lot of on the American stuff. If that, a lot of the reality stuff, they'll recreate things and script it slightly better. And I'm not interested in that. It's got to be real or not at all. So we didn't do any more. But that means we can do them ourselves, and we are doing some ourselves. So you'll hopefully get some of that in. Would you cost Flax Mill in? Would you cost Flax Mill in Shrewsbury? Do you know? I don't know where Flax Mill is, but we'd go there if it was. Selena's asked if have we visited Longley House? I visited Longley House. I'd love to go there, but I don't. I think we've even asked, but I don't think that. I don't think that they would have us there. It was one of these sort of highbrow things, too posh, which is fair enough. Osborne 2. Can you say hello to my son, John? Say hello to my husband, Dave, who are big fans of you as well. Hello to John first. Hang on, my fingers are the wrong way around. There you go. Hello, John. And hello, David, or Dave, whatever you want to be called. It's your call, guys. Someone asked, I can't remember, I just saw it scroll by, what's the most stupid thing you've done in the lockdown? Do you know there have been so many? I haven't got a clue. Maybe growing this beard was one of them. I have no idea. Now, Patrick, he spent his first lockdown, in his first wedding anniversary in lockdown. Well, I'm guaranteed that both of you together could have made fun. To be fair, your first wedding anniversary shouldn't be going out anyway. You should be in the house. It's me and my daughter's watch you. She's now 27. Wow, Tina. And I still watch Most Haunted. Love it. Thank you, guys. Yes, Lucy, much too posh for us commoners. Right, oh, here we go. Love you guys. Do an investigation at my workplace in Wolverhampton Grand. Supposed to be in the live, but the tour was pulled. Yeah, do you know what? There was a. It's funny. Many years ago, there was a tour set up that Yvette and I didn't know anything about, and it was only when somebody. I can't remember. We were doing something. Somebody said, "Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing you in a couple of months on this tour," and we said, "Well, we weren't doing a tour." And apparently some company had just decided to book a tour, and then without actually telling Yvette and I that they were doing it, which we obviously we couldn't do. We were booked on other things. Filming was one of them, and that was a shame because it was a lot of people were upset. They bought tickets for it, and it was the company's fault, nothing to do with Yvette and I. But I'd love to do that place actually. Can you remember Chuff's Hotel in Chard in Taunton Museum? Yes, we can. Now the Chuff, that was the one about the birds. The Chuff, isn't it? Didn't they? It wasn't the wasn't the logo on the wasn't it a bird? Wasn't it a Chuff? I don't know. Yeah, I do remember it. It's a great place. Well, Beverly's just asking, will you still do the lives off the lockdown? We mentioned it earlier. Yes, we will. Why not? I think they're a lot of fun. So we will be doing the these live chats after the lockdown. Now we are trying to work around with these slight relaxation of the lockdown. We are seeing if we can go and do some stuff. Obviously, we don't want to break anything. We want to. I think it's down to everyone to set an example to everyone else about this, because this disease is horrible. This virus is terrible. We need to get through it. And the best way of doing it is to listen to the government guidelines. And I think the government's going through a lot of there's a lot of positivity and some negativity. And I think that none of us know how difficult it is to organise this. We all think it's simple, sitting at home. Why don't they do that? Why don't they do that? But to me, I think they're doing a good job. And if we can go out and do some stuff, we will. And hopefully we'll start to get more footage to you, and maybe even alive somewhere, even if it's in our house, or if not, we'll certainly do something. Did Mary show you my Edward Scissorhands? Is it Cheryl? Edward Scissorhands tattoo yesterday after all the Johnny Depp talk? No, Cheryl, she didn't. I haven't seen that. I'd like to see that though. Now, actually, Johnny Depp. See, I've met Johnny Depp on quite a few occasions, and certainly when I was a cameraman, and he was, I have to say, one of the loveliest human beings you could speak to. He just so lovely. Every single time, he always remembers your name. He always will sit and chat to you, and I mean, and so they should really, people, because they're not, they're not above anyone. But he's a very humble, nice human being. You get that from him, and he seems to care. So, yeah, Johnny Depp. Maggie, where are the girls? Very quiet. Well, Mary's upstairs, probably, I don't know, playing on some game the kids do today. And Yvette's in bed. Yes, she's in bed. If you go on a Twitter and you go, "Hi Yvette, I know you're in bed." Yeah, she's in bed. Hi from New Zealand. Oh, I love New Zealand. Just want to say how much positivity you have already added to my life, especially chat during lockdown. Thank you. Oh, Kat, that's lovely. I'm so pleased. You live in an absolutely beautiful, beautiful country. We did a jazz festival years ago in when I was a cameraman in New Zealand, and I got to do my first ever bungee jump off of the bridge. I can't remember where it was now, but I think at the time it was the highest. I think I'm right. It was the highest. It's probably not now, but it was the highest bungee jump you could get at the time, and it was great. Weird, scary as crap, but lovely. Have you done an investigation in Coventry? I did, but nobody spoke to me. Okay. Do you know, I don't know if we have done any in Coventry. We must have done in the past. I can't remember. We've got so many. Get Johnny Depp on Most Haunted. Well, I would. I'll get Johnny Depp on Most Haunted, not Johnny Depp. I would. He would do it, I bet. Where's the wife? Yep, she's upstairs. Well, she says she's upstairs. I don't know. She could have got out of bed and she could have been walking anywhere. Yeah, I wasn't being rude to Coventry. I love Coventry, but it's that kind of, if you're sent to Coventry, no one speaks to you. It was a bad joke. A bad joke. I apologise. I do apologise. Do you collect any Hammer Horror memorabilia? Yeah, yes, I do. Anyone who knows me, they know I collect quite a few things I've got. I'm a huge Hammer Horror fan, more so Peter Cushing than anyone else. I've been desperately over the past sort of 6-8 months, I guess, trying to purchase his house because we know he's got it, but they just want to hang on to it. And unfortunately, it's dilapidating. It's falling apart now, or starting to. And it's a shame because it should be. I think it needs living in. But yeah, I love the Hammer Horror films. I grew up with them, and with Peter Cushing, he's one of these human beings that is the most. He's just one of the most kindest human beings that anyone's ever met. To try and qualify that is that I have never heard one person say one bad word about Peter Cushing, and in this industry, that's a rarity in itself. He never wanted anything. He all he wanted to do was act, and he wasn't into flash stuff at all. I think the only new car he ever bought was a Jaguar back in the day, and that was all. He kept that until it fell apart, I think. But a lovely, lovely man, and who loved his wife dearly, and was devastated when she died. But yeah, so I've got a huge bust of Peter Cushing, and also they call them death masks, but they weren't. It was a life mask of when he did one of his films, and I used to the mask I used to have on a stick. And when we used to have meetings at the office, I used to bring Peter Cushing with me in the meetings, and I used to sit there and ask him what he thought. People are mad. Scott Coins, great name. I just want to thank you for your and your family again for these streams, and most importantly for the past 20 years. Oh, thank you, Scott. That's really nice. It's nice when people not appreciate it. That's wrong. It's nice people are enjoying it, because that's what we're doing it for. And Carl, could you do a video to go on a mag? Carl, you should do a video and go magnet fishing in your lake. Now there's an idea. Do you know what a great idea we should do? I mean, I've got a huge magnet. Yvette, if anyone who saw the podcast, she had it down her pants and we were throwing toasters at it to see if... Anyway, that's another story. But that was quite a good idea. Do you know what? I'd love to do some magnet fishing, because you can get some great stuff. We should do just a whole thing about when are you receiving a label? Yeah, Joel. Ain't happening. Men aren't supposed to give birth, so why would I want to go through the pain of it? It's just not big, and it's not clever. I'm not sure. Obviously, if Yvette has ordered it and she gets it, then I'm going to have to use it. But I think she's forgotten. And don't go on what's it and doodly telling her on Twittery book, whatever it's called, and tell her. Oh, isn't it funny how this tells me I've got to... Somebody just felt so funny you're getting your magnets out, and I actually had to approve that. How bizarre. How absolutely bizarre. Do you remember your first Most Haunted? Do you ever think it would become as popular as it is now? That's from Joe. Oh, I remember it very well. When we did, it was Michelin Priory, and it was a pilot. And I mean, we were so unprepared in a way. We didn't even we didn't know there was such a thing as a night vision camera. It just so happened somebody mentioned there were cameras you could see in the dark, and so we managed to get one. But no, we didn't know. We didn't have any idea. We loved the idea of it. We know there was nothing else out there, and we were breaking new ground, and we created this new genre. So that's always quite scary. We had absolutely no idea it would take off like it did, and I'm so pleased it did. And yeah, it's down to you guys. I mean, it's not down to us, it's down to you. Without you, there wouldn't have been a second series. And yeah, I have to say, when we started doing I wanted to start off with a live show, but the channel were too scared to do that. So we did a live show at the end of the first series, which was quite funny. And the funny thing about it was, what people don't realise is, the live show went to, it was a difference between analog and, if you had an analog set, or if you're receiving the signal via analog and not by satellite, it went off at, I think it was 12 o'clock. And what the funniest thing was, the first one we ever did was, it went off to the witching hour of 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock, I think it was. I can't remember if it was 11 or 12 it finished, on analog. Yeah, everyone said goodbye and said, "Oh, thank you very much for joining. But if you're on analog, you're going to lose the feed now. So we're going to continue on satellite." And it cut, but it cut straight to a Danish porn channel. So if you're on analog, you're watching Most Haunted 1 minute, and then you're watching all manner of things for a while. I imagine it was turned off fairly quickly. I think you'll find us ladies will remind you about the magazine. Yeah, Sharon, thanks very much. Got to point the right thing. There. That's to you, Sharon. Do you know what? Yvette did buy me a metal detector, but I never really got... I think I dug up a few nails and I got bored. But I should do. We found, I don't know where they are, but we found sort of coach tokens, because down the bottom of where the land goes, we've got a small brook down the bottom, and there used to be a coach path that goes past. And we found these little coach coins, which were tokens back in the day in the 1800s. They would have used them to, as tickets as such. So we should do more. Do I believe in reincarnation? Ooh. Do I believe in reincarnation? Do you know, I don't know. I'd like to. I have a little problem with it because again, my understanding of it is very basic. But to have reincarnation, there must only be a certain finite amount of spiritual beings for that to happen, because you can only have one. If one dies, one's born. So there can only be an infinite amount of a finite amount of beings, and that's kind of something I struggle with. And I'm not a huge fan of this. If you're bad in this world, you come back as an ant. Why would you think an ant was any less important than a human being? It is a being. It has feelings. It's an ant, for crying out loud. It does its thing. So yeah, I don't know. Jury's still out on that. I obviously respect everyone who does believe in that, and I'd love to have the chat about it. Now Joe's asking me to say hello to Adam. He's a big fan, and do you know, Adam, I'm a big fan of yours. Hello, mate. I hope you're well. Let's just read through here. Are you and Stuart good friends off camera as well? If you could see what we get up to. Yeah, we are. Obviously, I've not seen him through this lockdown. We speak on the phone most days. But he's he's a close pal. He's like my brother. So I've kind of I can't. We've had a lot of fun. What you see as getting away, most haunted us messing around and just being stupid. It's like that, but with no cameras. So we do some really daft stuff. I shot him in the back of the head once. We were doing I had a new quad bike, and it was quite fast, and I had this idea that a pellet from my air rifle, I wondered if it was faster than the quad, or the quad was faster than the pellet from the air rifle. And we thought the only way we could do that is if one of us had the rifle ready and the other went past on full power, and then you shot the person on the quad bike. If they got hit, then obviously the pellet was faster than the quad bike. But if they didn't get hit, then the quad bike was faster than the pellet. I know. See, all the girls out there are going, why? Why do you even need to know that? But all the blokes out there are going, yeah, I'm getting this. So we did it, and I went on the quad bike first to get shot first, and I went zooming past, and he shot, and nothing. So I thought, well, that proves the point. And then Stu's turn on the quad bike. It was only when he went past I thought, I wonder if he was a really crap aim, because I shot him and hit him in the back of the head. It was just funny watching him go, and he was like, oh! And so that was a little trip down to A&E, but he was fine. It didn't actually penetrate into his skin. It just hit him and bounced off. So it was good fun though. Have I been smoking too many cigars? Do you know what? Yeah, I have. I do like a cigar. Anyone who knows me knows I do like a cigar. Sometimes I love a pipe, but I prefer a cigar because I can just relax with it, and I do love them. Now, I know how much you love the old sitcoms on the buses. I have a rare merchandise scripts books. I no longer require them. Yeah, they would be, certainly, Stephen. I love the old sitcoms. I love watching them. I've got to say though, sometimes you when you look back at the sitcoms, you wonder how they got away with what they got away with, because yeah, and it's funny, isn't it, that now what we see is what we're allowed with PC and all this kind of stuff. You kind of find quite shocking, and I'm a huge fan of the double entendre and the slapstick comedy, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Of the 70s and 80s, I think some of obviously some of the things they say on there, which is completely unacceptable today, and potentially should have been acceptable then. But generally, comedy's comedy, and everyone laughed at it. But now people will sit there and go, "Oh, you can't say that," but you listen to everyone; they're laughing at the time. But I love them. I absolutely love them all. Dawn, please say hi to my 12-year-old Hannah. Hello, Hannah. How are you? I hope you're well. Your mum's lovely, by the way. I do like Dawn. Dawn posts a lot on the Most Haunted Facebook page. How are your seedlings? Do you know what? The seedlings, they're going well. They're growing. I think the sort of lettuce is sort of kind of so big. I think we planted too many in one go because I think they're having trouble. They're having a big old fight with each other to get to be anything. The leeks started to come out and they just kind of seem to stop. The onions are just being onions. It's the potatoes. You're supposed to keep covering the leaves up until they flower. And I can't cover them up anymore. I've literally only got a box so high and they're in there. And it's, anyway, you don't need to know about my potato problems. They're getting there. They're getting there. Oh, love you too, India. The whole of India I love, but I love you particularly in India. That's lovely. It's called banking. Yes, and I've banked. Trust me, I've been doing a lot of banking while we've been in lockdown with my potatoes. Get your mind out of the gutter. I think you are spiritually sensitive. You're like, do you know what? It's funny when we do the events and stuff happens. It's one of the things I love more than most things. I think is that it's when you've got a group of people, some skeptical and some believers, and you on the events you get sort of like the whole raft of from the belief spectrum and the non-belief spectrum, and it's fantastic when you're sitting there or standing there and you hear footsteps or door slams or something, and there is no one there, or you can have 10 of you or 15 of you standing in a corridor, and something that you cannot see walks right the way through you. I think it's amazing, and it's lovely to watch people's faces, because some people are there, and it's great because a lot of people are honest and they say, we all thought you made it up, and now we've seen it. Bloody hell. And it's great. It grabs hold of you and you think, wow, I want to do more now. I've heard footsteps. I want a door slam or whatever. So it's great. It's lovely. I can't remember what the question was now, but Hodroyd Hall is always fab. The man who owns Hodroyd Hall is a lovely, lovely guy. But Hodroyd Hall is superb. It's a superb place. Right, what else have we got? Have you ever been to Norwich? Yes, we have been to Norwich. Now, Dorothy, correct me if I'm wrong. No, I'm going to show my ignorance here. I know we've definitely been to Norwich a few times. I'm sure we did. We do a live in Norwich. I'm sure we did a live in Norwich. Grosvenor Hall is awesome. Now that's got to be lovely Jenny from Most Haunted, Official Most Haunted Experience. Grosvenor Hall, we've now Jenny and I have experienced some amazing stuff. Obviously with Stuart as well, but with people there, but also on your own. So when you're kind of walking, sometimes you're walking from one group to another, and you can walk through one haunted location and you get these weird feelings and strange things happening. And it's great because even though you want everyone else to experience them, you know this is happening constantly. Whether you're there or not, it's happening constantly to people. And just one person could walk through and things happen, and other people, a group it can happen to. But yeah, it's a fantastic place. I love the cottage there is great, and so is the schoolroom. Right, Shelley. When we were at Paisley, we heard the heartbeat, which fascinates it. This is Shelley, which fascinates her. Why do you think they do that? Do you know the heartbeat thing? I don't know. I really don't know. I think Yvette and I kind of put a label on it of it's waiting for something, but we're only assuming that. Obviously, we don't know, because it always seems to, the heartbeat sometimes, quite often happens after it's done something. So it may answer some questions, yes or no, and one for two for yes, one for no, and what have you. And then it'll stop, and then it'll just go boom, 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 boom. Which I don't know whether it's just waiting. I don't know. Come along to Shevenage House near Tetbury. Poldark was filmed there. Ah, I'll go anywhere. Right, what's this? What's this heard? That is what we heard at Shrewsbury Prison with you, Carl. Absolutely amazing feeling. Yes, Maggie, that Shrewsbury Prison, we get a lot of stuff there, and the footsteps are great at Shrewsbury Prison. Again, a lot of prisons we get great footsteps, but it is amazing. And I love it when you're with a load of people and you're all experiencing the same thing, because that's what this is all about. It's like having one big, huge family that you can experience stuff with. What do you think a heartbeat comes from? Do you think it's energy related? Yeah, it could be energy related. Maybe it could be our positive energy trying for something to happen, and whatever it is that's making the noises, that could be that could be a kind of a waiting sign. I don't know. Harvey would. I really want to go there to get onto proper ghost hunting, but can't afford it. I made a video where I ghost hunt around my house, but I want to do it properly. Any advice? Do you want advice on making the video or doing the ghost hunt? If it's just doing the ghost hunt, again, just be open. Just be open to anything, and don't be afraid. So he says. Sometimes things happen that might make you afraid, but try not to be afraid at the beginning. It might be eerie, but you're not going to die from it. As far as I'm aware, no one's died from a ghost hunt. New Anne. What are the geese doing? How random. How random. The geese, the problem we've got with our geese is they're basically the same family. Well, we got one that's not, but they won't let him anywhere near the others. So the others are kind of like keep doing the do and sitting on eggs, and they never hatch because they're the same family. They're useless. Useless. Anyway, random question, but I like it. Do you know my hot chocolate's gone cold? Why is it that cold hot chocolate isn't nice, and you'd think that's just like a chocolate milkshake then, isn't it? You should go, ooh, chocolate. Well, it's just water, isn't it? Yes, yeah. Right. Just pop in those there. Bamber Castle. Bamber Castle is a great place. I just remember that superb place. Really was. I can't remember everything that happened, but I know it was a great place. Was the pond probably before you moved in? Yes, the pond was here. I don't know whether the people before us created that pond. There is an old pond down the bottom, but the pond nearest to the house, I'm pretty sure they created that. But the other one they didn't, and also the brook at the bottom, that's very ancient because of the old carriageways that used to be for for carriages. So it's certainly worth looking around all of those. Right, Maggie Morris, Rosemore, loved Shrewsbury, beautiful town. We had a meal at Shrewsbury Inn, lovely. Well, Shrewsbury's beautiful. It's got so many. It's got great antiques places. It's lovely. Lee Broad said, "Would you go back to the Bait Hall, Lee?" Yeah, I'd love to go back to Bait Hall. I think it's a great place, and I don't think it's even been touched properly yet. I think it needs. It's one of those places that you need to almost live in the haunted place for a week. And I think you catch some great stuff. I really do. The stuff that happened there, a lot of it was in a short period of time, but there is definitely something there, which is great. What would you like to? Where would I like to go first after lockdown? Can't see my mum actually. I miss cuddling my mum. We all miss cuddling our mums when we can't. I mean, my mum's 250 miles away, so yeah. So I really miss my mum. That's where I'll go first. But if you're talking about locations, do you know? I don't know. It depends which one's open, because some of them are. And to be fair, I really would like to go to. I don't know if anyone's been watching the live streams from Accrington, but there's been some amazing stuff there, a lot of stuff on camera, which has been brilliant. So the first time I can, I think I'll go there and do live. I mean, maybe with this restrictions, maybe Yvette and I can go and do a live there before everything all opens up. And I don't know if you guys would like to see that, but it would be great to do, because there's lots of stuff happening there. And if you get the chance, go on to the Most Haunted Experience Facebook page, and it will tell you how to watch the cameras, and just watch them. They're great. There's loads of cameras on there, and they're great to watch. You get a little bit sort of drawn into it, and you can waste days just watching cameras, waiting for things to happen. Dorothy Matthews, can you please say hi to Tamsin? My daughter, she's 20. Hi, Tamsin, 20. You're only 3 years younger than me. Hi, Tamsin, I hope you're well. Crumbs, imagine what it was like when I was 20. What was I doing when I was 20? I think I was in America when I was 20. I was probably doing something silly. I've done something silly most of my life. So anyway, do you know Ange Hill? Is that? She's my aunt. Oh, Ange Hill. Sorry, I thought I thought you were talking about a haunted location. Ange Hill. Ange Hill. Do I know you? I don't know, Leah. Does she know me? Accrington is great. Do you know what? I did watch the BBC Ghostwatch thing, and I think, I mean, I think they ruined it at the end by going too far. I think up to that point it was a good spoof that they did. I mean, you could kind of tell it was a spoof early on, but it was good fun, quite scary actually until the end, which ruined it a little bit to me. Muckleborough Investigator was amazing. Yeah, Muckleborough is brilliant. Hastings, would love to come to Hastings. There. You've done some Most Haunted outside locations. Is it easier, harder, and do you prefer? Do you know? It's always better to do something inside, because you have less sound intrusion. Quite often, you when you're outside, you can't tell. You know, even someone shutting a car door, if it's flat, and they're doing it half a mile away, sometimes you can hear it if it's loud enough, or cars going past. So it's always difficult outside. I do love doing outside locations, but I always find them harder if you can't contain them. That's why it's quite nice when you're doing if you're doing a big manor house or a castle or something where they own a lot of land and some of the land is haunted. That's great. I mean, our wood is supposed to be haunted by 3 spirits, and I have to say, I've never seen anything in the wood, but there have been times when we had all of our dogs, for those of you who know, we used to have 5 dogs. Unfortunately, we've only got the 2 now, but we had 5. We had Elsie, which was tiny little white thing, and we had Arthur, who was my black lab, and Stan, who was my Alsatian, my German Shepherd. And Stan was afraid of absolutely nothing, and he was the perfect dog, and he was my dog. And you go for a walk with him, and he would never go more than sort of 8 foot away from you, just for protection. And Arthur was similar to that as well, but bless him, he wasn't as manly as Stan, if you know what I mean. Both great guard dogs, but there were times when you walk to the wood, and you kind of walk through. There's one area, and there's like a sort of a walkway where the trees have sort of grown over, and it's fine, but just every now and then it was quite an ominous sight. It was ominous sight. I mean, not anonymous, ominous sight. And just every now and then there were times when we'd walk in there and the dogs wouldn't come, and you'd look in there and it was almost like the wood was saying, "Nah, not tonight." So you'd look back and the dogs would not enter. They just wouldn't go into the dogs. I mean, Stan was, as I say, was afraid of absolutely nothing. And I mean, Arthur wasn't either, really, to be fair, but they wouldn't go. Absolutely wouldn't go. And if I started to walk, they would just sit there and look at me as they was going, "You're nuts, don't do it," because that's how they spoke. Anyway, yeah, that was those little puppies. And so we could do an investigation in there. We have done it in the past. Stuart and I did it in the past. But the problem is sometimes the noise you hear outside can be a little bit deafening. So it can be difficult. Yeah, well, basically, I've got a little shepherd's hut in the woods, and I'm going to camp there over the weekend. Yeah, I'm going to do it this weekend. So I will be. There won't be anything sort of scheduled, but I will be on. I'll come on this on the YouTube channel every now and then, if anything happens, and do a few live stuff on my phone. I'm not taking anything else down. I'm going to take my laptop fully charged. I have a charging device down there, which will store electricity so I can watch. And I'll obviously have my phone, and I can charge them up. But that's the only 2 things I'm going to have. I've got no Wi-Fi down there. The only thing I've got will be my 4G on the phone, so it'll all be on that. So hopefully I can get some stuff to you, but I will be going live and hopefully enjoy it. Did you ever watch Lovejoy? Do you know what? I loved Lovejoy. I think Ian McShane, hugely talented actor. I mean, who would have thought, he could go from being, in Lovejoy, which he was brilliant in, to being this international superstar Hollywood actor, which he is. He's in everything, and he's such a great actor. One of these people that you don't know it's Ian McShane, if you know what I mean. There's this point where sometimes with actors is they will get the part because of who they are, and you just see them being themselves and everything. But with Ian McShane, is every single part he does, you forget it's him that's doing it. You just rely on the character that he's playing, or you get sucked into that character. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And funnily enough, I watched the whole of Lovejoy, the whole series, crumbs, must have been just before the lockdown, actually. Yeah, I watched the whole. Will I go back to the Leopard Inn? Yeah, I'd love to. Love to go back to the Leopard Inn, providing they, didn't put any have any lock-ins or bands playing. Am I a fan of Outlander, Carl? No. Do you know what? I've never seen Outlander. I kind of should do, because it's sort of something that probably would. The trouble is with me, see, I get caught. There's certain things I love. I mean, one of my favourite shows on TV at the moment has got to be Family Guy. I absolutely love it. And the Orville as well. I just think they're brilliant shows. the thing I love about Family Guy is it says all the things that if you actually try to say on Twitter or anything, you get slaughtered. It says all the things that a lot of people are thinking, and they say it very cleverly. And it's funny as anything. And you sit there sometimes and you think, how do you get away with that? But they do it brilliantly. But I got into Forged in Fire. Forged with Fire. Forged in Fire? Yeah, Forged in Fire. With Will Willis. You must now go to your... I don't know, whatever. And recently I started watching Lawless Island. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. You get a chance to watch it. I've only watched series 2. I kind of binge watched the whole lot. It's people basically living in Alaska, and it's done very. I mean, it's shot beautifully. The production company that did it deserve an award because it's not this gratuitous, made up stuff. It's real. It's these people's lives. They just beautifully shot. It's one of those. If I had made it. I wish I'd made it, and I'd be so proud of it if that had been one of mine. And that's from one producer to another. I think, and I love the idea that they have to defend for themselves and all this kind of stuff. I mean, they have to go and shoot deer and fish and stuff. And as a vegetarian, that's something I couldn't do. But I guess, if your life depended on it, you'd have to, wouldn't you? But yeah, so I kind of binge watch a lot of things. I love outdoor stuff. I do love outdoor stuff. And I've got to say, Homes Under the Hammer. I think Yvette would be great. I really do. I think she'd be great. It's a little bit samey, obviously, as it would be. The format works. The format works very well, and it goes. Obviously, you're just looking at houses, watching them being sold, and then being done up. But the good thing about it is it's not all success stories. They show you some people who made errors and what have you. Gold Rush and Curse of Oak Island. Yeah, do you know what? The Curse of Oak Island, I've heard so many negative stuff about it. I did start to watch it, but I didn't, I don't know. There's so many people saying they're making a lot of stuff up. If they're not, then that's fine. But if they are, and I kind of thought, when you hear too much about that not everything is as it should be. And this is not just people slagging it off. These are people who have lived there, who've known the island and all of that. You kind of have to take control, really. Well, I'm gonna go now. I just realised it's 23. We've been chatting for an hour and 23 minutes. Thanks everyone for coming in. I really do appreciate it. It's lovely talking to you. It really is. And here's to next Thursday, 9 o'clock. We'll be doing the same thing. I'm going to try to get more outtakes to you. I'm putting some together now, but I will try to get some to you for next week if I can. If not, it'll be the week after. But love to you all. Please stay safe, and thank you every single one of you for commenting and coming in. Night night. Love you all.